Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you have been keeping very well. This video is very kindly sponsored by my favorite people in web design at Squarespace. Okay, hello, welcome back to a new video. I hope you've all been keeping really well. My goodness, it feels like a hot minute since I've uploaded a video, but I am really excited because I really took my time with this one and I am very proud of it. So in today's video, I'm sharing with you a week of vegan dinners, and something else that is a little bit special about this video is not only are these recipes vegan, they are also entirely nut-free. So I hope this video helps out everyone, but especially helps out those who are vegan but also allergic to nuts. There are definitely plenty of really flavorful meal ideas out there, and yeah, today I'm going to share 7 of them. Anyway, I think that's all from me. So let's get into the recipes. The first thing we are starting with is a really delicious chickpea salad. Let's get into it. So I love this chickpea and greens salad so much, especially when I am in the mood for something fresh, and it is really easy and also really nourishing. So I first of all start with a can of chickpeas, which I drain and then rinse really well. Once I'm done with that, I then put them into a bowl with some olive oil, as well as this lemon, herb and garlic spice blend, which is really good, but you could use whichever spices you like to really. I then toss this all together until everything's really well coated, and then put it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius. To make the dressing, I just put some olive oil as well as lemon juice into a glass jar. No, this isn't a jar. This is just the glass, Amanda. Get it together. Anyway, I add in some salt and pepper as well, and then mix this together until it's well combined. Then I get some greens. So I have some spinach as well as rocket. And then I also added in some basil here for some extra flavor. I love adding fresh herbs to salad. And then I just rinse this all together nice and well, spun it in this salad spinner, and then transferred to a bowl. From there, I then also added in some avocado to add some creaminess to this salad. I just diced it and then did my weird way of putting avocado into a salad. I then poured over my salad dressing and added in my crispy chickpeas, which I had baked up. Then I added in some hemp seeds, which I love adding to pretty much everything at this point. They are really great for you. And that is my salad. I tossed it all together and then served it in a bowl like so. And this is something that, like I said, I really enjoy when I'm feeling a fresh and quick and easy dinner, but it's still really hearty with those chickpeas and leaves me feeling nice and full. Okay, it's time for some BBQ Jackfruit Tacos. I haven't had jackfruit in so long, but I decided to make it myself, and it was really easy. I just started with a can of jackfruit that I got from the supermarket here in Australia. I can be kind of fussy with the way I like jackfruit, so I rinsed this and then I made sure I shredded it up really well with my hands, so there weren't any like huge chunks left in it. I don't know if anyone else feels this way with jackfruit, but this is just me personally. I like it to be really well shredded. So that's what I did, and then I poured this into a bowl. I added in barbecue sauce, of course, as well as some olive oil. I actually seem to have added in quite a bit of olive oil, as well as a whole lot of garlic powder as well, and some salt, as well as some pepper, of course. So I tossed this all together. You could also add liquid smoke if you have any on hand to get more of a smoky jackfruit flavor. And then I put this into a frying pan and I fried it all up for about like 10 minutes on medium heat, just getting it cooked nice and well, but then you don't want it to like burn, you know. I have a habit of burning things. It's really not good. Anyway, I then got some cabbage, which I sliced up. I only used like a third of this, and I chopped it up finely, so I had some nice strips to add to my tacos. Then I got some corn and I fried it up in a little bit of olive oil again to add to the tacos, and then I fried up some tortillas. Onto these tortillas, I first of all put the cabbage, and then after that I added on the BBQ Jackfruit mixture. This recipe like perfectly makes enough for 3 big tacos. I added on my charred corn. I love corn so much, as well as some natural coconut yogurt that's sort of mimicking like a sour cream. Then I topped this with some fresh coriander, of course, and yeah, these are my BBQ Jackfruit tacos. They're actually really simple to make, and I think jackfruit is something that you could definitely prepare in advance to enjoy like throughout your week. And yeah, these were again really hearty and really delicious and kept me full for a really long time. I feel like creamy pasta has this tendency to have cashews in it. I know I normally make it with cashews, so today I decided to try a different route. I made this first of all with some pumpkin, which I cut up, ensuring that I chopped the skin off. And then after this, I then put this into some boiling water with some cauliflower florets as well that I had chopped up. So then I basically heated this up and boiled these vegetables until they were really, really soft. You pretty much want them to be able to blend with absolutely no chunks. So that is your goal when you're testing the texture of these. Then I drained these vegetables out and rinsed them so that they were a little bit cooler to go through my blender. My blender definitely doesn't like when I put hot food through it. So here I added in these vegetables, which you can see are really nice and soft. Then I also added in some tomato paste, as well as some nutritional yeast, of course, my favorite, and also some garlic powder. Then I also added in some vegetable stock, liquid vegetable stock, is that what we call it, as well as some lemon juice. I put the lid on and then I blended this all together. This is something that again you can adjust to taste. You can add different herbs or spices if you would like to, but yeah, this was really, really delicious for me. So then of course I cooked up some pasta. As you can see, this is like a decent serve. This would probably serve about 4 people, to be honest, so definitely keep that in mind if you're making it just for yourself or just for yourself and one other person. I poured the sauce over this cooked pasta, stirred it together, and my goodness, it was delicious. Okay, I'm just here to quickly interrupt myself, essentially, just to say thank you to my friends at Squarespace for working with me on today's video. You know by now I love Squarespace very, very much. My website is currently undergoing some reconstruction, I guess is what we call it, but let me tell you, I've been using Squarespace for almost a year now, and it is simply the best. If you're someone who is looking to host and design your own website, then Squarespace is basically a one-stop shop to do so. It is super, super user-friendly and yes, just really beneficial to business in general. I personally use Squarespace at all 3 of my jobs, and in particular, I'm obsessed with the blogging features because they are so simple to use. And as well as that, on a personal level, I really enjoy how easy it is for me to link my podcast and my YouTube channel to my website. So if you are looking to create your own website, you can head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you are ready to launch, you can head to squarespace.com/AmandaDux and use my code AmandaDux, which will get you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you again to Squarespace for continuing to work with me, and thank you to all of you for supporting me and my YouTube channel. Let's get back into the recipes. So next up we are making some crispy sesame tempeh with rice and vegetables, and this is so delicious. I first of all started by cooking the rice in my rice cooker. I'm not very good at cooking rice, if I'm honest, so I recommend just reading the packet instructions of your rice, but this recipe makes enough for 2 people. So then I started by first of all cutting some broccoli and cauliflower into florets, which I love broccoli and cauliflower both so much. I then also got myself some pak choy, which I cut into halves, and then in a bowl I started by cutting some spring onions into the bowl, and then I also added in some sesame oil as well as some tamari, and then I also added in hoisin sauce. I mixed this all together until it was nice and well combined, and then from there I added in my cauliflower and broccoli. I tossed this all together into the mixture quite well, and then from there I then put this into a frying pan on medium to high heat to cook these veggies up nice and well. Then I got my tempeh. This is just some soy tempeh, and I cut it into cubes, and I put some corn flour onto a plate. I then also added in some sesame seeds as well as salt, and I mixed this together lightly. Then I got myself a plate and I poured some olive oil on, and basically the method here is to dip the tempeh into the olive oil and then coat it in the corn flour mixture and so on, essentially. So from there I then put my pak choy into the broccoli and cauliflower, and I also fried up my corn floured sesame tempeh until it was nice and crispy. To serve, I then put some rice into a bowl, obviously added in my delicious vegetables as well as that tempeh, and yeah, this was a really, really yummy meal. I also drizzled it with some tahini to add more sesame to an already very sesame dish, and then I also added sesame seeds on top. I just really love sesame, okay? And this was really, really delicious. Okay, for our next dinner, I decided to try making homemade gnocchi again. And whilst it's not perfect, it was really delicious. So I started by, first of all, peeling a whole bunch of potatoes. And let me just say, I don't enjoy peeling potatoes. Most things in the kitchen make me feel super relaxed, but this simply does not. Can you relate? Let me know. I would love to know if I'm alone in this. So I, first of all, got my potatoes that I had peeled and cut them up and boiled them until they were nice and soft. Then I mashed them in a bowl after I had drained them, of course. And then from there, I added in some flour as well as salt and olive oil. And then I continued mashing this together before deciding it was probably better that I just used my hands. And I got in there with my hands, as I love to do when I'm cooking. I then moved this on to a floured surface and then decided to start rolling this into my balls of gnocchi. So that's exactly what I did. Again, I'm definitely not perfect at making gnocchi, but I feel pretty proud of how these turned out. They were really nice and fluffy. And then of course I transferred these into some boiling water to cook them, and they were a little misshapen, but they were great, okay? Then in this frying pan, I put some olive oil as well as garlic and spring onion, and then I also added in some basil, which I chopped as I added it in there. Then I added in my gnocchi and I started frying it all together. I only cooked up about half the gnocchi to go with this sauce, so just keep that in mind. I fried this up for a little bit and then I added in some crushed tomatoes. You want to make sure the gnocchi has fried up a little bit before doing this, just so it gets nice and firm and well cooked. Okay, so yes, here I add in some salt and pepper and nutritional yeast, and I boil this up, and my goodness, I think I'm just gonna say I think this was my favorite dinner from this video. Even the sauce was just so delicious, and I topped it with a little bit of basil, which is really cute. And yeah, it just went down an absolute treat. Maybe it's because of all the love I poured into it, or something like that. So bao is something that I only tried for the first time a couple of years ago, and it has quickly become a firm favorite, and I decided today to make some cauliflower bao. So I started with half a head of cauliflower, which I cut into florets, and then from there decided that I should probably cut it into smaller florets. So that's exactly what I did. I then put this into a bowl, and then from there I also added in some olive oil. Of course, love olive oil in this house. And then I also added in some hoisin sauce as well as soy sauce, and I tossed this together so the cauliflower was well coated. From there, I then put this cauliflower into the oven to bake, and then I made myself my sesame hoisin sauce to go with this. So I started with tahini, then I added in some hoisin sauce, and then from there I also added in some maple syrup to balance out the bitterness of that tahini, as well as some water to thin. I mixed this together until it was nice and well combined and tasted delicious, of course, and then it's time to serve up our bao. So here I have my bao buns as well as my cos lettuce. Then from there I added on some of that hoisin cauliflower, as well as drizzling on some sesame hoisin sauce, and then topping it with some spring onion as well as some toasted sesame seeds. These went down an absolute treat. I highly recommend making them for you and your friends. So last but certainly not least, we are making a creamy vegetable bake, and this again is a nut-free creamy sauce, so stay tuned, okay? So I started by cutting up some sweet potato. Again, this is one of those recipes where you can pretty much use whatever vegetables you would like to. I used sweet potato and potato to start because I love starchy vegetables so very much. I rinsed these well, and then from there I put them into a large baking tray and I drizzled with a little bit of olive oil. You don't need heaps because you're going to be using the creamy sauce. I tossed this together and then put these in the oven to start roasting because they take longer than the other vegetables. Then I decided to add some leek, so I cut this leek up really finely. I love leek so much lately. I love adding it to most of my savory dishes. It is so good. And then I also cut up some cauliflower as well as some broccoli. Really, I've used a lot of cauliflower in this video, I'm realizing in this moment. Anyway, I cut up my broccoli and my cauliflower. I rinsed all of this really well, and then I added in my broccoli, my cauliflower, and my leek into my baking tray. I sprinkled it with some of this lemon, herb, and garlic seasoning that I seem to be loving so much lately, and I then tossed this together a little bit better before putting it back into the oven to roast while I make my creamy sauce. So to make my creamy sauce, I first of all started with some vegan butter. Here in Australia we have Nuttelex, which is like so good, so I started by using some Nuttelex, and then I added in some plant-based milk. So I use soy milk. I would recommend using soy because it's really creamy, and then added in some veggie liquid stock as well whilst I whisked this all together. Then I added in some cornstarch as well as some nutritional yeast as well as some salt. And then I whisked this all together, left it over the heat about like a medium heat whilst it bubbled away and thickened up. It doesn't need to thicken up too much though, so just keep that in mind. And then I poured this over my vegetables, my roast veggies, before putting this back into the oven to cook up. And as you can see, everything's getting nice and crispy and golden, and also the sauce is really creamy. So when I pull it out of the oven, it is looking so ridiculously good. So to serve this would serve once again about 3 to 4 people depending on how much you like to eat. Yeah, this is what my vegetable bake looks like. Alrighty, my beautiful friends, that is a week of vegan dinners, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do make any of these recipes, don't forget to tag me on Instagram on your story. I'm gonna put it somewhere. I'm gonna put it somewhere. And I've also linked a blog post down below which has all the recipes in detail. If you are looking to make them, it might be easy to click that. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a really beautiful day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye.